Avalon. It's great to finally meet you. I've admired your work online for so many years now.
Equally nice. I mean, you had a bit of a head start on me, so ditto on the years.
Avalon, can you tell us what country you're from and what the masking scene is like in that country?
Sweden, which, being Sweden, it exists. Not really that densely populated country, so I mean, there are a few math people here and there.
Well, I really respect that you make the outfits yourself, and can you tell me about how you learned to make some of the outfits that you make?
Mistakes upon mistakes upon mistakes for 10 plus years. It started with silicone, since that's kind of easy to work with, but it's easy to work with small scale. Then when you scale it up, it becomes a problem, which then leads to asking how hard can it be working with latex, and X steps later, 5 years, it turns out to be really freaking hard.
And what is it about latex that you enjoy more?
The fact that you don't need a double-sided mold to make them.
How do you deal with the fragile nature of latex? Have you had any accidents where you've lost an outfit that you made?
I believe that counts as a yes. The major suits I make, it's taken me about 5 years to get them to a working state, whereby I mean they don't explode when you have worn them once, so it's been a challenge.
So, can you tell me about one of the most elaborate outfits that you've made? How long did it take you to put together, and how long did it take to put on?
This is kind of a typical candidate. The tattoos on this one, reasonably minimal, but just gluing them on is 20 hours or so. And a slightly fancier version with texture tattoos, 40 hours of work, something like that. And then the actual outfit, the actual suit itself, about 100 hours, something like that. So by now I have spent so many hundreds of hours on these, I have no idea how to quantify the work.
That's a lot of dedication. One of the things I've really admired about your look is you make your hips look amazing. Can you share any tips about how you make your hips look so good?
Thank you for that one. It's just a classical foam pad thing, that's kind of the pure basics. But I have written some stuff on the Facebook page about like the methodology and thinking behind it. There's no real major secret to it besides just taking a bit of a systematic approach to it, I guess.
You get the proportions just right, and that's something that I see a lot of people miss out on, so well done. Have you gone out in public wearing one of the outfits that you've created, and what reaction did you get?
I used to crash a whole bunch of clubs back in the day and usually ended up getting a goodie bag on the way back home for some reason.
Well, can you share any information about outfits that you want to make or that you'll be making soon?
The want list is big. I've had kind of a long-running goal here of making something that's obviously looking good enough, durable enough for long-time wear, and comfortable enough for long-time wear, like running around for a full day or a full weekend or something like that. Well, we are getting closer. We still aren't quite there yet.
So when you're starting out with a mold, do you cast something or do you make the mold yourself?
I make the molds myself.
What excites you about the future of this hobby, the female masking and costuming community?
I think we are finally getting to some sort of technological state where products will start actually catching up a little bit when it comes to the technology used to manufacture them. I mean, you had your plastic molds back in the day, right? Which tends to kind of be the current industry standard for most things still. Like CreaFX, they do clay sculpts and then they do their, I think, glass fiber molds, if I'm not entirely mistaken. Which, I mean, it's good, but nevertheless, we are getting to the stage right now where we can do more advanced things with technology. Like, the reason this entire suit works is because it's a perfect fit. Like, my hands, my feet, literally every part, thanks to it being a 3D scanned mold. So, when you combine that with something that has been fundamentally technically impossible before, you have that foam bodysuit project from back in the day, which is perhaps an interesting example when it comes to that. Working with outer molds and the tolerances around them is really freaking difficult with classical technologies. Whereas if you're doing them in 3D and then just printing molds, for instance, all of a sudden you can do miracles. But this suit works because latex shrinks about like between 3 and 6% depending on the mix. That would, effectively speaking, mean that if you made a full-scale perfect mold of yourself and then used latex to make a suit, it would not work if you did it the classical way, because you would be a couple of percentages off in size. Whereas with modern technology, I mean, you just upscale the model 3 to 6% and done. It fits perfectly.
Well, Avalon, thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us and sharing some of your images. I will definitely be looking forward to seeing more from you in the future.
Thank you for having me.